Welcome back to Rockit Garage, and on this episode, we're back on the El Camino. We're going to be doing sound insulation on the interior, and then we're going to be getting the roof and the tailgate and all that stuff, hopefully ready for paint. I'm not going to make promises. And then let's see what else we can get into. Yeah, let's just see how this goes and how far we get. Let's do it. Next thing we're doing to this car is going to be installing sound deadener. I bought these rollers a while back because the cheap ones that I kept buying kept breaking. Hopefully these work better, and they look a lot beefier. Cool. And the sound deadener we're going to be using is this kill mat. I use this on almost all of my projects. I really like it. Kills the sound. Really, it changes the sound, but reflects the heat, changes the sound, and this is butyl based, so it's not tar based. And that's going to get rid of that asphalt smell, and it's not going to leak the black adhesive when it gets hot. This is the 50 mil. I think I got 80 last time, maybe 50. Let's lay some out. Oh God. Kind of see what we're working with. Oh yeah. Once again, this is not supposed to be a crazy build, but yet the scope creep never ends. So we just cut a little piece just so it'll wrap around the corner. Take the roller, and this small roller is going to be nice for any of the creases and body lines in the floor. Pretty easy process putting in this sound deadener. All you're going to do is push down on the roller until the indentations on the roller are into the sound deadener foil itself. I'm going to try to get rid of the shape that it has so it's all pressed in real nice. And it takes a while. So if you're in a rush, this job is probably not the job you want to do when you only have 20 minutes, because it takes a while to lay it all out, trim it, push it all into the corners, but man, does it make a difference. It is already a dusty mess in here, but most of the floor has the kill mat. It's all pushed down, and actually my big roller there broke, so that roller set is not the greatest, but the two small ones still work. And then I have 180 grit, the super build on the roof, and I'm starting on 180 on the tailgate. And the only thing left on the insulation is building the shift tower and trying to fix that throttle bracket. Then the floor should be done. And yes, this car is very holy. Goes to church on Sundays, but we are going to try to patch that up. Again, not a show car, but this car is a little rough on the inside. Not everything has to be perfect. We're gonna make some patch panels and just gonna do our best with this. Gross. All right, now we're getting pretty close to where I need to start doing final prep. I've already got the wind wings out. And now I'm pulling the rear window out, but I gotta save this window because it's in pretty good shape. There we go. Project Scope Creep has creeped once again. So I've started on 320 grit on the passenger side. Let me put you all down. And it's turning out pretty good. Again, got the wind wings out. Those are pretty easy. And I'm just taking this razor blade and putting it right inside there, cutting it, peeling it back so I can get to the inside, and then I'm pulling on it. Because I know I'm pretty bad at bringing people into the shot, mainly because I'm by myself. This rear rubber weather stripping is not rotted, which is nice. It's still pliable. The front windshield just chipped off, so I just used a chisel because there was no way a blade was going to cut it. Come on. There we go. Here's the tailgate, all in 180. Super build's been sanded. I think there's one ding. Yeah, there's one ding right there. Everything else turned out really nice. So the wind wing's pretty easy to take out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws there. One screw here and one bolt there. And then you just drop it down a little bit, tilt it back, and it comes right out. The windows are still in the car. Started sanding the dash. That's just getting 320. I think I'm just gonna seal it. Final prime on the outside of the tailgate. This is the first coat, and I waited about 15 minutes in between each coat. And this stuff is not very thick. Definitely not as thick as the Super Build. So you're gonna kinda have to build it up slowly because it will run. Final coat. This tailgate turned out great on the outside. The inside, okay. Here's the dash all prepped. I did 320. 400, and then we ran over everything with a gray scuff pad, which is anywhere from 600 to 800 grit. This is the sealer I'm using, Summit brand. Worked pretty good, no complaints. I went with 2 coats on the sealer. It said to do 1 super wet coat, but I went with a medium wet and waited 15 minutes and then did another medium wet just to kind of get a little bit more coverage because I was a little afraid that the dash wasn't perfect. A little bit of trash, but other than that, looks good. Now we're moving on to the first coat of base, and it's that gold color. I think it was supposed to be a little lighter because it wanted a gray sealer, but I went with just all black sealer for the outside of the car and that lighter color. But I think it turned out awesome. That's no clear coat, so it'll dull up once it's dry. You can see here, I didn't do the bottom of the dash because I wanted to do dark brown, but that ended up not working with how cold it was. So I just went back and sprayed everything gold. And here I'm hitting it with the clear coat with Masada. Looks awesome. That gun sprays clear like no tomorrow. Better than OEM finish. Very little orange peel, but it still has a little bit. I actually like that finish. My luck, those birds are going to land right in the fresh paint. Other than that, it's okay. Wow. Yeah, my assumption that the heater core was leaking was correct. That's disgusting. So we're going to try to get this repaired because they don't make this. I have not found one on the internet, so we're going to try to get it repaired, and hopefully we'll have heater in this car. Well, it's been a couple days and I've been piddling, putting in some trim up there, some of the switches, and today I just painted the gauge cluster stuff. Speaker cover defrost A-pillar pieces and the gauges. And I just realized that I'm missing the speedometer gauge, so I guess I'm gonna have to paint that too. Never ending. They look good though. Here is the steering column and a sneak peek at what the color of the car is gonna be. This is dark. That is way darker than I thought it was gonna be, but you know what? It looks pretty good. It's a very dark pearl-esque brown, just base coat, but they tried to mimic some pearl, but looks really good. So I'm actually experimenting with this car, 320 grit, 400 grit, and instead of going to 600 because it's a metallic color, I'm just doing a gray scuff pad, which is 600 to 800 grit, and I wanted to test out the cowl panel to make sure that no scratches show up, and it looks really good. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with that technique. That'll save me some time on the rest of the prep work. Yeah, no sand scratches. This thing is slick. I love that Sada RP that I bought. I'm using that just for the clear coat. Wow. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. We got actually quite a bit done. Didn't get to the roof, but you know what? We got the dash and all the little bits painted, and that's way further than I've gotten in the last, I don't know, 6 months that I've had this car. So we're on the downhill stretch. Got to finish up some body work, reprime the roof once again. And man, I think this car is going to be painted by the end of the month if the weather stays nice, because it rained for a whole week and this shop is, well, it's not waterproof. So raining and painting and moisture and all this. Anyways, doesn't matter. We'll get it done. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, like and subscribing. And if you've stayed this long in this build, we are at the downhill stretch. And I think this color combo and the car all together is gonna turn out pretty slick. See y'all on the next one.